Hi, I'm Cliff Hall, and my submission for the MCP Hackathon is called Puzzlebox. It's an MCP server that hosts finite state machines for managing the process state of agents and teams of agents. Large non-trivial projects such as software development or television series development typically proceed in stages. You may be designing a specification, and once you've got your specification, you can go into design, and then from your design mode, you may go into building, and within building mode, you may be doing agile iterations and going through various repeating steps. And you typically have rules that determine when you can move from one state to the other. When is the specification ready enough for you to begin building or designing? When is the design ready enough for you to start attempting to build? And so if you think of each of those phases of a project as being states, and you can transition between those states with certain actions. You've finished your specifications, you've looked at it, you've decided, yes, this is ready to start designing, and we're going to go off and we're going to have a team designing a database, and we're going to be designing an API, and we're going to design the UI, and we're going to then move into a phase where we begin building those things, and building the back end and building the front end and so forth. And so when you try to control a bunch of agents with prompts, it's very difficult to get them to go through those big stages. You can break down things into smaller tasks and assign them to agents, and we did that with Goose Team. It's very difficult to have those large parts of the process controlled by prompt alone, and that's what Puzzlebox looks to do. It will give you a way to create a finite state machine that defines the states of the process you want your agents to go through. And in those different processes or states, you may have different agents with different roles. Your developers are not coming in until your design specification are done. You've got different roles and different things going on inside of those different states. So if the agents are bound to act within a given state that they're given, then if they can collaborate, then they can all get to a point where some gatekeeper can say, okay, we're ready to go to the next state. And that's what this is all about. We're a little bit short with Puzzlebox in terms of building those gatekeepers, because that's kind of uncharted territory in MCP. We need to be able to have a client that is registering these puzzles, creating agents that are bound to those puzzles, and a puzzle is a state machine, just easier to say and talk and write about. And they will then be able to the client will be able to keep the agents operating within the state that they're of the project itself. So those guards are to be implemented as sampling. When we're on the server, when an agent is telling the server, hey, change state, and the server successfully changes state or is about to change state, it will need to send a sampling request to the client. And that sampling request is how we will go to the LLM with all the evidence and go, are we ready to move to the next state or not? And you can have a guard on exiting a state and a guard for entering a new state. So you could have two guards on a given transition, making certain that it's safe to be moving into that new state. And then notifications, subscriptions from the client to the server, so that when a state changes and an agent is bound to that state, they will hear about the state change. And the client can hear about the state change and determine if it needs to shut some agents down. We've moved into a new state. All the agents in the previous state completed their work and the guard said it was okay. So now we're going to shut those agents down and we're going to move to a new state. And we're going to launch some new agents with new roles to do different things at this stage of the project. So that's what Puzzlebox is all about. Right now, we're able to actually send a definition for a state machine or a puzzle into the server. We're able to get a snapshot of the current state and available actions that can be taken on a given puzzle. And actions will start a transition to a new state, like you'll see here in a moment. And we can perform actions on the puzzle, causing it to do state transitions. And we can see that those state transitions actually happened. So from this point, we hope then to implement that sampling to make sure that the guards can be implemented, and notifications to the client. Will be next building a custom client that handles sampling. So that's where we are. Okay, let's have a look at this. Connecting to the server, I'll look at the tools. We've got add puzzle. This adds a new instance of a puzzle to the Puzzlebox. Get puzzle snapshot. This gets a snapshot of a puzzle telling you its current state and available actions. Perform action on puzzle that actually performs an action, attempts a state transition, count puzzles if we want to see how many are in the server. So let's go ahead and add a puzzle now. And that's just a JSON string here. And you can see we're defining a very simple puzzle with the lobby. And you can do a start game action there. That'll take you to the playing state. If you're in the playing state, you can do an end game action. That'll take you to the game over state. And in the game over state, you can do a restart action that will take you back to play. So let's go back over here. We'll put that in and run the tool. And we get a puzzle ID. So now let's take a look at the puzzle current state. We're currently in the lobby. Available actions are start game. So let's go ahead and perform an action on this puzzle. And you see we have success. So let's just double check that. Yes, we are now in the playing state. Available actions are end game. So I can go back over here. Say end game. We're successful. Current state, game over. Available actions is restart. And we can loop through those as often as we want. We can come back here. Let's go. And we're back in play. So currently, that is the extent of what we've got. Now we can, just to be clear, we can have multiple instances of that same puzzle. And you can see that if we check It's puzzle ID that we're still in the lobby on that.